A gate agent mocked me at the airport, not knowing I was a tomb guard. 8 minutes later, the Pentagon called her desk. That was the moment she realized she'd just made the worst mistake of her life. She laughed at me, right there at gate C-14, a sharp, ugly laugh that made the whole terminal go quiet. I'd asked for 2 minutes. That's it. 2 minutes to wait for a Gold Star mother whose flight connection was delayed. The gate agent, her name tag said Megan, rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd get stuck. "Look, soldier boy," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "This isn't Arlington. We don't have time for your little theatrics." Theatrics? I've stood guard in thunderstorms. I've marched in 105-degree heat until my boots filled with blood. I've walked 21 steps, turned, walked 21 more, for hours that felt like lifetimes, and she called it theatrics. I didn't react. That's not what we do. A tomb guard doesn't flinch, doesn't argue, doesn't break. But the old Marine behind me, gray hair, cane, Vietnam pin on his cap, he muttered under his breath. She has no idea who she's talking to. Megan heard him. She smirked. "And who are you? The airport manners police?" "No, ma'am," he said quietly. "I'm just a man who buried friends, and I know a tomb guard when I see one." Her smirk flickered, just for a second. She didn't know what that meant. I could tell. She'd heard the words before, maybe. A documentary, a news clip, but she didn't understand. She didn't know about the badge on my chest, one of the rarest in the military. Only a few hundred soldiers in history have ever earned it. She didn't know I'd trained for 2 years just to qualify, that I'd memorized every grave, every detail, every step of a ritual that's been unbroken since 1937. She didn't know my brother was buried at Arlington, that I'd made a promise at his grave to stand for every soldier who never came home. She just saw a uniform she could dismiss. "We're closing the door," she snapped. "If your little escort is late, that's her problem. Plane's leaving." I lowered my head. Understood. The jet bridge door sealed shut. 3 minutes later, Mrs. Patterson arrived, breathless, clutching a folded letter from her son, the son who died in Kandahar, the son whose memorial ceremony she'd waited 2 years to attend. She was too late. I guided her to a bench, knelt beside her. I couldn't touch her. We don't break discipline, but I let my voice go soft. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry." She didn't wail, didn't scream, just cried these quiet, exhausted sobs that sounded like they'd been trapped inside her for years. I felt useless, like I'd failed her, failed my brother, failed every unknown soldier I'd sworn to honor. When I looked back at Megan, she was watching. Something flickered across her face. Not guilt, not yet, just discomfort. She had no idea what was coming. A baggage handler named Evan had seen everything. He'd pulled out his phone, typed a message, sent it to someone who knew someone who knew someone. Exactly 8 minutes later, Megan's desk phone rang. "Gate C-14, this is Megan." Silence. A long, cold pause. "Miss Brooks." The voice was deep. "Military. This is Colonel Walker from the United States Army Military District of Washington." I watched her face drain of color. "We've received a report involving Staff Sergeant Ryan Bennett. Is he present?" Her eyes found me, wide, panicked. "Yes, sir. He's here. Put me on speaker." Her hand shook as she pressed the button. The colonel's voice filled the terminal. "We understand there was a situation involving a Gold Star family member's travel. Staff Sergeant Bennett is active duty with the 3rd Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, currently serving as a tomb sentinel at Arlington National Cemetery." Gasps. Whispers. Someone said, "Oh my God." The colonel continued, his voice turning sharp. "It is of the utmost importance that Gold Star families are treated with dignity and respect. Miss Brooks, we will require an incident report within the hour. Corporate has already been notified. They will be contacting you shortly." Megan gripped the counter like it was the only thing holding her up. The old Marine leaned on his cane and looked her dead in the eyes. "Told you." Her supervisor appeared from nowhere, face red, already on the phone, already getting calls. Megan's hands started shaking so bad she knocked over her coffee. The whole terminal was staring. Passengers, staff, the pilots walking to their gate. Everyone saw. Everyone watched the woman who mocked a tomb guard realize she'd just ended her own career in 8 minutes flat. Full story on the channel linked below.